I give all my love, that will just cushion your fall. If I'm taken for granted, I promise I'll lay down the law. I give and I gave and I do it all over again. Yeah. I've died and I live, maybe, baby, that was all pretend. Whoa. You can have all my love. You can have all my love. But don't go break my heart. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. You have all my heart and my soul, you're my lover and friend. I will not run, baby, that was all pretend, yeah. I give and I gave and I do it all over again. I've died and I live, maybe, baby, that was all pretend. Whoa, you can have all my love. You can have all my love. But don't go break my heart. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yo, 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 yo. We are here with another run them we see y'all in I would say run them likes up, but them likes is already ran up. And that was Sammy Snow with You Can Have All. Oh, I can't sing like Sammy. You heard?
It's nice though.
Oh yeah. You know that I only play it if I like it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if it helps if they've been a guest on the show.
Right.
Thankfully, the guests on the show make dope music. Kaleisha, we're here again.
Hey.
We're here again. And part of why I felt like it was important. What up, Tim? Thank you. He said that song was banging.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Part of why I thought it was important for us to come back is because my perspective on what we said in the first episode has extended since then, because a lot of this stuff I came to realize, it's like the first, season started. We're warming up. We're getting ready for Thanksgiving, and Thanksgiving has happened now.
Right. Yeah. You survived. Everyone survived.
Like game one.
Right.
Game one. Where's everybody at?
Yeah.
Are we finishing the holiday season together? Or have you stopped? Have you cashed in your chips? Are you done for the year now? You know what I'm saying? Where are you at with everything? And are you gonna re-strategize? Maybe we can inspire some people to re-strategize, especially if the first thing that you learn is, it's way easier said than done.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? I always go into it being like, we got this, everyone, aces in their places, everything's gonna be fine. And then I come out and it's like, deer in the headlights. Like, okay, wait a minute, maybe I didn't know what was about to happen. Like, just blindsided
Yeah.
every time. So yeah, it's definitely time for a roll call. That's for sure. You got to check on your people this time of the year, anyways. But yeah, after.
And that's another thing. It's loaded with surprises in all kinds of ways. Prayers towards people who cause that weather, once that gets into your body, some people can't take it. Older folks can't take it. Younger folks, whatever. Like
Yeah, it
it
does
takes
not
a lot.
discriminate.
Yeah, the weather change is brutal. And people go through a lot of harsh things. And people you expected to be there aren't aren't able to be there, and then a lot of times you don't think about what holidays will be like without certain family members being there, you know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I hope that, like, the takeaway from any of this is that, like, you deserve the energy that you're going to put into yourself, like, regardless of how you came out of it. Because there's definitely moments, like, I mean, up here it's a bit different because we're sitting in, like, minus 40 and like 6 feet of snow. So it gets hard to get out and see people anyways. But, like, making sure that, like, there's other ways to maybe bring the joy in the house, or there's other ways to bring joy to people. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, well, there's that. There's also like not under like it's like, oh, it's my family. It's gonna be great. They're all perfect,
Right.
and we're gonna do all these things together, right?
Yeah.
And so, but then you realize, like, even like what could be wrong with smoking, right? Like, oh, my cousins smoke, we all will smoke together. No, one motherfucker likes to smoke bongs, the other likes hitter rods, one doesn't smoke before they eat. You know what I'm saying? And so simple things, it's like, oh,
Nope.
exactly the same, but so different. And it makes getting there a little bit complicated. What up? We got Gordo in the building.
Hey,
We
Gordo.
got the milkman in the building.
Hi.
We got Kid Lucid in the building. Shout out Tim. Shout out Calico in the
Yeah.
building. The people
Hey.
watching on the different Jeffy. We got a Jeffy sighting. Run it up. Run it up. Share it up. We were just talking about, how do y'all think y'all did? How was Thanksgiving? That is opening matchup of the holiday season. How are y'all hung in there? Have y'all backed out of the holiday season yet?
Out there with their white flags just tapping out. Yeah, no, I was so
Yeah.
excited, man. Even in the comments today, like leading up to this, I was like, oh, there everybody is. There they are. Hey, like, you know what I mean? It hasn't been that long. We were just here the other day talking about what we were going to be doing going into the holiday season. And then as soon as I seen everybody there, I was like, all right, yeah, it's time to check in on everybody and see what's good. Because I don't know, man. I barely hung on today. Today was, never mind the holidays, like Mondays, like, bro,
Yeah. I mean, just the biggest thing was like for me going into it was realizing that regardless of how much the Becks are the Becks, there's a lot of diversity amongst us.
Right.
And navigating through it, and me not being myself, because it's tough to accept things, and everybody's at a different pace in a family, in a different situation with a different perspective. It's kind of like, okay, this cousin cares about that right now. This one cares, like, it's like, hey, get your shit together. But is it a time for that? And a lot of times I think family doesn't remember when they didn't have their shit together, or the reflection
Right,
that's
right,
taking place.
right. Okay. Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's always going to be growing pains and stuff like that. And I think that, it's hard to acknowledge the growing pains when you're like sitting in the situation for sure. But I don't know, like the older I get, the more I realize that, family is exciting. They're there. And I might catch a little flack for this, but your 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 family kind of becomes your extended family once you move out of the house and maybe have a spouse or have some kids and stuff. And I don't mean it in the way that we like talk to each other. I just mean in the way that we like actually talk to each other, because the time, like, one or two or three times a year, like that's prioritizing. Like that's prioritizing people at this point. Like there's a lot going on in a day to be out here hanging out with them every other weekend, every weekend. Like
It's sad. Yeah, it's sad that it's came to that. That was another tough realization for me. Uh
mm,
because like one of my sisters was in from Arizona, and we hung out, and I'm sitting there trying to be like, I'm big brother, I've done this, that, and she had friends at the table that were literally like, I fly to Arizona to see her
damn,
every year, you
yeah,
know. And
right,
that's
right.
a big, like,
You're like,
that's
oh,
a big, I gotta step my game up.
yeah, totally. Yeah. Yeah. And it's always like, so the problem that like that I always have, like a lot of my family, they live in like tropical places, or they live in places where I want to be in the summer. So the holidays always, it's always the winter, everything's kind of nasty. I don't really want to be out in that. And if I'm gonna spend the money, not that they're not worth it, but I'm coming out when I can go to the lake, or I can go to the river, I can go to the ocean, but there isn't any like celebratory, other than Canada Day, I guess, like that gives reason to really go out there and do that.
That's tough because I
It's
feel like we can't limit, we can't,
right.
that's the point kind of I've been
Yeah.
making. We won't see our family a lot if
Yeah.
we limit it to our particular taste
Yeah.
all the time. There has to be some give and take. And I feel like we have to make an effort to be a little bit more than extended family
Yeah, absolutely.
to our family. I think we lose course of that in our own dreams or whatever. But like usually our core dreams start with family. And when we lose sight of that, I don't know. But I'll also say it's very easy to. It's super easy to. What up, Jason? How are y'all
Hey.
surviving the holidays? What up, Big Doc? Um, uh,
Yeah. The I mean, you have to kind of just find the reasons, right? Like I think we prioritize the holidays because traditionally or historically or whatever you want to look at, like we've always put those first. But yeah, you're right. Like if we don't start coming up with other reasons that aren't necessarily like even birthdays or weddings, like just putting it out there and being like, okay, this weekend everyone's going to book the Monday off. To be honest, you'd probably get the day off more like not around a holiday anyways, but book that day off and then make the weekend the long weekend for your people. Because yeah, real quickly, like yeah, it's tough. I don't want to say like, oh, my family's all extended now. That's kind of how it feels, like we're all so far apart. It's been a hot minute since I've been back home. It's been a hot minute. So I kind of experienced the same thing you did. Like when, if your family's flying in and now you're like, sitting there when they're sitting there talking like we've already been doing this all year long. And you're like, oh shoot. Like,
yo, I gotta say this because there's so much of this in the comment section.
mm.
And I have to address it, right? Like, I think that for both me and Kaleisha,
Oh,
look, no, look,
okay. Yeah,
neither of us really
no,
talk too much about our brands because what
no.
we're talking about
Yeah,
is what's important. It
right.
sucks because you're supposed to be like, yo, like some, I tell them to like it up, share it up so people can hear the conversation. But a lot of times, like, we spend a lot of time thinking about what we want to talk about and to have a conversation with you guys. And so more so than shout outs and all that shit, like I want to know. I'm lost in this world trying to find it out. That's why I do this is and to share what I do know, what I don't know, and for us to grow together and to Jeffy, I'm not
Jeffy, I was just looking at that. I was like,
talking about
Jeffy,
you,
listen,
Jeffy.
you could do no wrong. Nobody's worried about that. I think maybe it's a good time to maybe to like answer some questions from people in the comment sections, because a lot of the time they say things and it gets overlooked, and then there's other times where
it
like
applies to the conversation.
right.
I love it more than anything, but
Yeah.
like saying happy holidays 30 times, waiting for us to say it back, and then not actually listening. Like, yo, I'm giving my I put my life in. I give a lot of my life.
Okay, hold on. Whoa. 1 second here.
I'm not angry or nothing.
No, because with it, I mean, I don't think you are. I think the reality is that every time somebody comments, it pushes the algorithm to push it to other people. So I don't really care what you say out there. It's all amazing.
I just want people to know that it's not a look at me kind of thing. It's a, hey, let's talk about something.
Right.
It's not a spectacle. It is, because I want to it is, but it ain't. Does that make sense?
I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying. I completely understand. It's challenging because a lot of the times when I go back and look at the comments, I'm like, shit. Like, I really wish I had taken the time to address everyone individually on the show. The reality is like, I mean, the Pancake Show specifically isn't built for that. Like, we give the space to the guests for that reason, so that they can do what they need to do. So it's organized a little bit differently. But I mean, yeah, it's challenging because you want everyone to know that I see them and they're important and they're loved and cared about. Because I mean, there's just so much love out there. But it is challenging when you're like, okay, what did you guys do over the holidays and what's happening? And for real, did you survive? Like, did anyone survive? Is anybody out there that like didn't make it? Are we missing anybody?
Like, because it's all about relatable thing. Like, and like, even I love Gordo's comments because he always lets me know he's listening.
Yeah.
And most people in this world, all they want to do is just be fucking heard.
Yeah.
And Gordo understands that in me on such a deep level by just doing that. All y'all are gems. Y'all know that.
Yeah,
I love all
100%.
y'all. I wish all y'all dreams come true and do whatever I can for all y'all's dreams. But yeah, I mean, back to what we say.
Yeah, no, back to you. Like, so tell us about the story. So you're having this conversation, you realize that, maybe your family and friends connect more often than you're involved in. Like, obviously that comes with some feelings. Like, how'd you deal with that?
I mean, it's a part of life. It's more common than it is not. We kind of play tricks on ourselves. You can't overstep a boundary. You can't force a relationship. It's all about finding them commonalities and that timing. And what I've found over time is like, especially my relationship with them has grown in general. So it's a bittersweet, but it's growth and a lot of recognition of the effort that I have put in to be a big brother over the years. But also it is way harder than what I thought.
Yeah.
It's more expensive, it's more exhausting, but the rewards are always greater.
Right. Yeah. And well, when you look at it from a financial standpoint, you're like, okay, what we're going to do here is, are we going to go out of our way? Are we going to sort this out? And all of that stuff. And I've honestly had times in my life where I've looked at it and been like, okay, Are we gonna go home and do the thing, or for the same price?
And you're taking that financial serious. It is a really massive factor. I didn't get to have Thanksgiving with my typical family in my hometown because I couldn't, I wasn't gonna drive or fly out there like that.
Yeah.
You know, and that was a rough call.
Yeah. And that's, I always beat myself up because I'm like, it comes the same time every year. Like, you know, I could have pre-planned for this, or, you know, wasn't there more organization? And then I start looking at it and I'm like, okay, but the turkey was $80. Like, you know, all the things, like there was already so much anxiety and stress. And none of this is because I don't want to do it. Like, we are really out here like celebrating stuff, but it's really challenging when you got people all over the place. Where do you go and why? Like,
well, it's so weird that we go through all that, right, to see our family when really we could make way more simpler trips and stops. I saw the funniest thing today, Kaleisha.
Yeah.
Bizarre the rapper from D12.
Okay, yeah.
Posted a picture with his cousin, okay?
Right.
And he said, I'm in Chicago. I saw my cousin for the first time in 30 years. Okay. Now, do you know? And his cousin sitting there like this. And I was like, his cousin's got to be sitting there like that because he probably has told people Bizarre was his cousin for 30 fucking years for people to laugh in his fucking face. And he's finally getting validation.
That's wild. Yeah, I mean, shoot.
And what's so insane though too is, do you know how many times Bizarre has probably been in Chicago?
I was just thinking that, like, doesn't this dude have some cash? I mean, I don't know if Purple Pills made all that much money, but D12,
he was on tour with them during that time.
I was gonna say, like,
you didn't give your cousin no tickets during that whole run.
Right. Yeah.
Eminem didn't let you. You didn't care about your like. How do people's heads get in a space like that? I have a song with Bizarre. I got a song with Bizarre. You know what I'm saying? I have a song with Bizarre before his cousin got to see him.
That's wild, though. Like, that's wild.
That's nuts. And now you down and out. And you want to finally give your cousin some brownie points.
Right.
Like, yeah, we don't know. It could be a billion things, but you know, like, is anything that big?
Okay, but let me say something here, because like, I'm spoiled. Like, I am so spoiled. I'm so spoiled that I had a really challenging situation growing up. And
we got Gordo crying.
Right. And like, when you're talking, like, if you have 2-parent household growing up and you have your, you know, your family, right? Your sisters, your siblings, like, all that, whatever, your brothers. That's cool. You can try and prioritize that. Even that gets a little bit busy once you bring in like a partner or spouse or whatever, because now you got their family. But what about these people out here who's got like two, you know, their parents separated and then, you know, or they went through foster care. Like, when I look at like Christmas, I'm like, I would love to come out there, or I would love to be a part, or like, yeah, let me try and figure this out. But you're like, I'm like running down the list of like, okay, who do we do first?
What makes sense?
So like, like, what makes sense? And also, like, who's had the furthest gap? Like, where do we need to start that clock over again? Because that comes up a lot. Like,
I mean,
you know?
And I have, and it's funny. It depends on. I'm trying to get my hat straight, and I'm just making it worse. No, I'm having a meltdown. Okay, we got it. We got it.
All the time. I'm like, I'll just tuck this in, and then the other side.
Like, stop it. I'm not. It's not this. It's not this. You'll always look way better than me. You people are like, oh shit. But
Oh, you're making me blush. But yeah.
back to where we were.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, I come from a household like that, and then where it was intentionally like, nah, these is my kids, like,
Mhm.
you know. So these aren't.
Yeah. Ooh.
We do not treat them the same. So,
Damn.
like, um hopefully one day, uh hopefully one day, we get to be closer, but I don't typically do this, you know. But I gotta play. There's this song I just been, you know.
Wait, hold on. You said something like real quick. Wait a second. So I think the standard that you're talking about though is probably the most common, right? Like people have that kind of situation all the time. Like you're trying to act like that's like, so you're like, I'm just gonna slip that out and not say nothing. Like yeah. Do you think that's why a lot of people aren't coming together on these holidays? They're like, listen, if we just hang out with ourselves and we don't have to deal with that kind of that type of politics in the family.
Huh. That's interesting. He's like, damn, I'm loaded on Xmas. But yeah, I mean, we gotta stick together. We're literally all we have.
Yeah.
We're all we have. And we most of the time we dislike each other because we know too much about each other. We look for people. Oh, we don't know enough. This person hasn't scarred us yet. You know, I was thinking about how grandparents are sneaky, right?
Yeah.
Because they come off so sweet and innocent, but they're also our first heartbreak most of the time.
Yep.
Like, how are you setting me up for heartbreak, acting like the most innocent person in the world? I'm 5, and but but that's why we gotta stick together. You can be like, don't play a song right now. But
you can. I mean, it's your show. You do what you need to do. But like sometimes
it's not mine though.
You just get on the cusp, and I'm like, wait, like we got to go a little deeper. Like, hold on, because that's some good stuff.
You want to go deeper?
Well, sometimes, yeah, because you say some stuff, and then I'm like, man, listen, that's relatable. That makes sense to me, and you're right. Like, I don't want to speak about my family specific, but I know for facts that like, especially if you're like the firstborn or the only girl or the only dude or whatever, right? Like, all of grandma's secrets, all grandpa's whatever, you know what I mean? Like all those moments. And so it's like, it's probably the realest conversation you'll ever have. And for sure, some of those moments in my life, and I don't need to be specific because I have so many people, but like, that's where it all began. Like, and that's probably where the standard came from, really, about like what I was or wasn't gonna do.
You don't know why, and they don't. It doesn't even seem like they try. But there's something about that presence,
yeah,
that like feels like home to you.
Yeah.
And you can trust it, and it is crazy. You should have never trusted that. You should have never trusted Gramps to begin with. Okay, he did more dirt than you'll ever know. But also that dirt is the foundation, and that dirt is where the bricks that he built after that dirt came from, and is also why I don't usually do this. But I gotta play this. Chance the Rapper. People been hating on him, but I feel like this song is so important right now.
Gotta get together.
If you keep the house in the family, you could keep the family in the house. If you on the run, you got family in the South. We used to watch Annie, Are You Okay on the couch. My cousin used to slam me till I punched him in the mouth. My auntie used to cook for 20 people every week. My uncle in the basement, even if they never speak. He come up, grab a beer, sometime he kiss her on the cheek. Know how to fix a plate, or fix a bike, or fix a leak. Fried catfish, bootleg Medea plays. Nosy auntie, like let me see your grades. Front auntie, like I could tutor him. Crazy auntie, like if they fail him, I'ma shoot at them. Small donations under false names and pseudonyms. Family pots for school clothes. Get the uniform, not the cool clothes. Having no drip like the pool clothes. Least I had a jacket, some of the kids at the school froze. If you not in the building, it's getting bulldozed. Gotta keep the crib, man. Gotta keep a spot for all the little cousins to live in. Gotta keep a spot in case somebody gets sick. Cause if one of us get on, then everybody get rich. We got to stick together. And looking at the puzzle, we gotta stick together. And looking at the struggle, we gotta live together. And not just on the holidays, we gotta get together. It's either now or never, gotta get this shit together. It's not the yacht club, but you should see the waves when we float through the block club. Neighbors on their yard like they locked up. Kids in the street like Bud Milliken. Old man used to be a Panther thug militant. Community policing. Barbecue, 2 trays of Harold's 50 piecing. Lemon pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, seasoning. Faux square, killer man, slapboxing, teasing. Cackling, keying, cracking up, wheezing. This the home base. You gotta watch them. They're right time, you're at the wrong place. If you're on your cell phone more than a phone case, then take your crib to go slide on your home plate. We need CBA, Barry, before they build another golf course, library, or send the eminent domain to miss. It's gonna get scary, young Jeffrey Younger. And looking at the puzzle, we gotta fit together. And looking at the struggle, we gotta
I got it.
And not just on the holidays, we gotta get together. It's either now or never, gotta get this shit together.
Hey, I gotta. You know, it makes me think so much though about the message of Pine Case.
Yeah.
For that second verse.
Yeah.
Where he's talking about taking care of the community.
It actually like made me teary at like I'm all fucked up over here.
That's why I be like, yo, what I can't put into words sometimes, I need to let a song say. And yeah, it's so crazy because I know like that. I was like, yo, that's what Pine Case is all about doing where they are at. And
yeah, absolutely.
So
absolutely. Listen, it started, and I've said it a million times. It was, it was hot dogs and some mac and cheese, and the big story and the one that
mac and cheese.
I'm not hating on nothing, but like, I mean, I remember this one time there was like 4 box, like box cakes or whatever, and there was a bunch of, we lived off that for like a while. Like a while, like, and that's, I don't know, man. I don't know. I know people are still out there living like that. And I know people are still out there and like, that's why it's important. But at the very heart and soul of it, like, no one ever asked any questions, and you certainly didn't ask grandpa none of those questions, and you just went about it, and we were all fed and we were all happy. And that's why, like, there is ways to do things that it doesn't need to be that complicated or that exploiting. We don't really need to like put people on blast and be like, we're running a charity for this person specifically. Like, nah, we all have things going on, and like we can come here collectively and then slide a little bit off to the side out the back to make sure that they're cool. That's it. It doesn't need to be that crazy. But yeah, that song is wild. Like, it painted such a picture, like,
because you can see everything. And it's crazy how it's a distant memory to me to a certain extent of all the, but it's so vivid and I can see it all, and I was right there. And it just makes you think about how things are now and how they are so complicated, and also even the perils of mental health, right? Like, and men supposed to talk to a certain extent now, like, because when he was talking about the uncle and the auntie's relationship,
we've all seen that relationship, right?
that, Yeah, we've all seen it, right?
Yep.
You know, he's
Yeah.
just a stern, tired ass. He's gonna do what he has to do, and that's his love language.
Yeah.
I had just posted a status, like all these people talking about, like, I just have to accept that I was put here to love and not be loved. And it's like, yo, everybody's love language is different.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're
Thank
too busy loving yourself to hear what they're saying.
I'm so glad someone finally said that, because it drives me absolutely bananas. I grew up with a bunch of uncles, and they all sat in the shop all day long, smoking, pulling wrenches, doing their thing. They would go out to camp or out to work on the fishing boat, whatever their job was, whatever they'd be doing, mechanics, whatever. And they'd be gone forever. And they'd come back and they'd buy a big pile of Chinese food, and we'd all eat, and it would be so fun. And then they'd be gone again. And most of the time they slept on the couch. And it wasn't even, it would. I mean, maybe if like aunt and uncle had 5 minutes together, maybe like it wouldn't be like that, but not once. It was never because they didn't get along. It's like, man, the pressure of all of that, like you need 5 minutes to yourself. Like you need to, that's how people unwind. That it does not make people unhealthy in any sort of way to chill for a minute or to be out there. Like that's how some people problem solve. And I think I'm glad you brought it up, because men talking about their problems is not specific to actually vocalizing it.
No solution.
No. And I don't. Yeah, the solution is definitely not to have everybody out here like whining and complaining. That's not it. Like that ain't it. It's just giving people the space, whatever that looks like. Whatever that looks like. And I mean, thank you for saying that, because it drives me crazy. People are like, he doesn't listen, or she. I'm like, that's not what the point is. Like it's cool, man. I don't know. If it hurts your feelings and you're in the wrong space, then you're not understanding what's happening there.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're all in different spaces, and it's tough to respect them all and at different learning curves. But the only way is to lift each other up, or to respect each other, at least along the way, I guess. Which I think the terms for respect, which doesn't mean coddling or being nice, and never being like, no, that's not how it is.
No.
Sometimes
respect is saying what it is.
Usually if I respect you, I'm gonna be like, yo, you're a really smart person. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. 100%.
And when you say that to, and if you're somebody I love and respect, and you say that to me, I'm going to take it into consideration.
Yeah, it means so much more. Like, obviously, I would have never hurt you like that. So if I'm saying something that's hurting your feelings, there's probably a bit more context to the conversation. Like, people know that, though. I mean, maybe they don't. I don't know.
No, they fuck.
No, I don't know. Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't.
People play a lot of games and don't even know it. I know. I'll be in fake denial, and that's something I've had to be more accountable for.
I'm glad. Yeah, I'm not trying to laugh that it's like, because that's a real thing.
Look,
too.
I didn't take offense.
It just
it's heavy. It's heavy. We're so heavy in it. It's tough to admit that, and we don't even typically hear it worded that way.
No,
they're like, no, I didn't do that to be a jerk. Yes, you did. Let's just. let's say how you really feel,
which is cool too. Like sometimes you just got to like get that off your chest, or just have that moment. And a lot of the times, like if you're having that near me, like I can respect the fact that I'm your person. You love me enough to do that shit and not be disrespectful to other people. Like there's other ways to look at things than just taking offense straight up to everything. It's not always like that. It's not. Like it's not.
But
I got people in my life that just like sit there and like yell near me, and I'm like, "You cool? Like, are you cool?" Like, all right, But it's because they like respect themselves enough, and they respect me, that they're not going to go out in public and start acting like that to other people, because that's really how their day was stressful. They had enough. They just need to blow it off their chest, but they're not going to go out there and yell at the person that upset them, because it looks poor on, us or them. Like they're not going to disrespect me like that. They're going to come home and chop some wood or whatever.
chopping that wood.
It's cold up here.
Speaking of chopping wood,
It's cold up here.
I have a lady who needs some attention. No, I'm
Easy.
but yeah, it's a case of the Mondays, man.
Yeah.
I think we play one more jam. We're gonna check in on y'all next Monday. We'll have some more subjects, dig a little deeper. I hope somebody gains something out of this conversation. Yeah.
I'm just looking at, I mean, yeah, thank you, Jason, for saying that. It is the chillest place to talk about mental health, and it should be the chillest place to talk about mental health.
It's supposed to be. It's
This life ain't easy, it don't take much to believe me. No matter where it take you on this journey, keep believing. On my darkest evenings, when they left me bleeding, I would have this vision, even when they couldn't seek it. Couldn't keep it to myself, living in my personal hell. No one was there to help, shit they even prayed I failed.
What up,
I can only dream what they was dealt. How they treated me reflected how they felt by themselves. I can only love from wasn't built how I was built. Mama was a goddess, so she would protect me. I was anointed, people could never elect me. They only throw curses, as it deepens it worsens. Not impartial disbursements, cause when it rains it pours. As my love grows, they hate me more. Too sure, too pure. I'm the rose that grew from the concrete floor. Nah, you can't take from me anymore. House burnt down, closed bank account, and I'm locking the door. Feeling like Pac in the Outlaws, and you claim you want me outdoors. 16 karat, just fuck it. How about more? Cloud of smoke, hella hate, guaranteed to rope a whore. Make it do the do-si-do. No, y'all ain't ready for that rodeo. Where the roadies go? Probably somewhere doing hella blow. I can see it from both sides with my eyes closed. Proud to be black, like ain't nothing getting under my nose. I suppose despite all that, I got high hopes that you feel the heart in my art for you fine folks. That's all.
That's all.
That's all.
But yeah, all right, y'all. It's a case of the Mondays. Happy holiday.